Sometimes I think that people forget that metal can be fun sometimes. Metal on its own takes itself pretty damn seriously a lot of times. There's a lot of very grim, dark, harrowing releases that just tug on your heartstrings and evoke such powerful emotion that it's hard to look away from. Things that are so impactful and leave an imprint on you, you can't really pull away from it, and it sticks with you for pretty much all of your life after you listen to a record that is truly life-changing. And there are dozens, hundreds of very impactful, beautifully written, beautifully executed metal records that take on a very serious, grim, dark tone, whether it is telling a story about something that actually happened in the world, something traumatic in a person's life, or just a fantasy world that is built up through the music. On the flip side of that, I think that there are a lot of people that take metal a little bit too seriously sometimes, kind of misplaces their opinions of metal, thinking that it can be boxed into one corner. And I want to challenge that in a couple of ways. I want to say, first off, even some of the most gruesome and vile, grotesque, brutal death metal bands, the Cattle Decaps, the Cannibal Corpse, these bands that really do make an effort to sound as gross as possible, trying their best to write lyrics that are repulsive, that are off-putting, that are shocking on every sense of the word, as well as, like, you know, the Marilyn Mansons that make their entire careers based off of that shock and awe. That is very much commonplace. You gotta understand that, like, yeah, there might be some, like, death metal vocalists and songwriters that are actually perverted, twisted, fucked up individuals that believe what they're writing about, but if you ever hear some of these death metal bands actually talk about their lyrics, or like interviews with a frontman or a songwriter, they have a fucking blast making them. And I understand that there's like controversial, polarizing opinions when it comes to it, like, you know, the recent Cannibal Corpse thing of like trying to be canceled on Twitter, which I still think is the funniest thing ever. Thanks for the support on that video, by the way. Most of these bands don't even take themselves seriously from a lyrical department. It plays second fiddle to everything else, and while it may seem very on the nose and very brutal in terms of lyricism, most of the time it's coming from a place of just dumb fun. And some of my favorite memories with certain like albums from Judas Priest or Iron Maiden, and I know they're not like heavy metal, but AC/DC, are just some of the songs that are written out of a place of just dumb fun, fury. And I think having bands that are willing to challenge the conventional norms of metal and bring some levity to the genre are very necessary. And even if it's not something that you particularly like in your music, and if you want it to be very serious at all points, which your prerogative, perfectly fine, bands like Brojob to some degree, or Infant Annihilator, or Electric Callboy, in my opinion, are very important to having sort of this counterbalance so it doesn't have to always be so serious. And sometimes I don't want to deep dive and dissect a record. Sometimes I want a good laugh. Sometimes I want to turn my brain off and listen to some fun music, in the same way that, you know, some hip-hop fans and pop fans like to just turn on brainless, mindless entertainment. Sometimes I just want to have fun with a song that gets me bouncing, that gets my head bopping, with some funny lyrics that brings a smile to my face. If I'm having a bad day, that can sometimes be something that changes the whole course of my mood. I just think it's important to not take metal so seriously that you forget the fact that a lot of the bands that make very serious stuff are fun-loving people anyway, and they also write from a place of, yeah, they're definitely trying to make fun storytelling, but the amount of over-the-top layers that they put in their music, it adds to the fact that they are writing from a place of levity. And as much as I love complexity and nuance in music, fuck, I made an entire channel ranting about things I'm passionate about and making discussion lists, video essays, shit on a ton of different metal stuff, so I would be the first to say that, yeah, I love serious stuff. It is my primary go-to. I like when a band can take themselves seriously and write some very compelling, intriguing pieces of music. But I also know on the other side of that fence, it's really good to have these bands that sort of act as this antithesis in a way, that are the exact opposite, or at least coming from a place of just having fun, either riff-wise or instrumentally or vocally. Sometimes I need Infant Annihilator's 50 million breakdowns in a singular song. Sometimes I need Rings of Saturn going 10,000 fucking BPM, and that's what I need and want at the time. In the same way that, like, a lot of people like pirate metal, I'm not a big fan of pirate metal, but it is just dumb fun in a way. But I want to know your guys' opinions of this. You can let me know down in the comment section below. Do you think that metal can be fun, should be fun, and what are some of the bands that you think are fun in the metal world? I can't wait to hear it. Agree or disagree, there is no wrong answer. Be sure to like this video if you enjoyed it, subscribe to join the review family today, and smash that notification bell to be notified of my future uploads. You know who it is. My name is Jay Morris, and I'm signing off saying farewell.